All right, Holla Family podcast. Been a couple of weeks since we've aired one out, but definitely just glad to be back. Got the whole gang back together. You got myself, Finesse. What's up, y'all? Just hanging in there, doing my thing. Just wanted to shout out the rest of the gang here. Shameless Logic, how you living?
What's going on, everybody? It's Shameless Logic. You ready for some scandalous? Nah, I'm just playing. We're just back. I know we've been on a little break, but we're here, and let's get into another topic.
Cool. Yo, Feast for Thought. Yo, how you doing?
Doing all right. Sorry we missed a week, but we're back here. Let's talk this stuff, man.
Yeah, man, the holidays do that to everybody, I guess. But all right, cool. So this week we're talking a topic that is real common with a lot of men in private. It's talking about just dating and dating on a budget, how much we spend, how much we're trying not to spend. Great date ideas that we've had where we haven't spent a lot of money. Because early on you don't really know somebody. It's an investment that you're trying to make, and we're all living our lives, and nobody wants to really go broke and break the bank over somebody that they really know nothing about anyway.
Nope.
So typically, first dates we're talking here, not really, somebody who's married who might, drop a lot more money than somebody who's just meeting them for the first time. So let's just get this thing rolling. Let's kick it off. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just a couple of personal stories, in which, on a positive side, what's the best first date that you've ever put together or planned or even been on that you just really didn't have to spend much money at all for it. So I'm going to probably start with Feast. Feast, so anything you could think of that was, it doesn't have to be the best, but probably just like a real good one, a date you had without spending a lot of money, first date with somebody,
Usually, the best times are like the spontaneous ones where you don't necessarily see it as like a formal date, where like you could, like someone you just met, you guys can invite into some event or someone's house, or where like there's a game night or something, or you go to this comedy club, or just like different spontaneous things, and just having great laughs and just meeting new people and stuff like that. But like for the most part, it was like there was this comedy show I got in for free, so I had 2 tickets or whatever. So there was that, and that worked out pretty good. That was pretty funny. Oh, whatever. That was a good time. We got to really know each other and be able to agree on some common things. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. But.
Yeah, I hear you. Shameless, yo. What about you, yo? First dates that went well and that were really not really hurting on the pockets at all.
I'd say a pretty good one that happened, I'd say a couple of months back. I went on a date with this girl, and she was pretty cool, where we didn't kind of like how Fee said, how we're not really ready for anything, so we just spontaneously ended up hooking up right after work, because we were just texting the whole day, and then I was like, it's going to be pretty boring after work, and she's like, yeah, same here. And then he was like, you know what, why don't we just meet up somewhere? And then we met up downtown, and then we ended up going to a happy hour, and she ended up paying for stuff, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even expect that. She was like, yeah, I got this. I was like, what? And usually as a dude, as a gentleman, you always bring out your card first, so you take the bill, and then you don't let her see it. But she was like, no, I got this. I invited you out. So after that, we just walked around, we talked a little bit, and we got pretty cool, and it got pretty cool night.
I always find that weird when it's like the first date, and then a girl doesn't give you a chance to pay for nothing. I always feel weird, because it's like, most of the time when that happens, it's more like, oh no, you got the last one, I got this one. But like, just to start it off, I always feel like some type of way, like, oh, like, why don't you let me like be a guy, like.
Yeah, I feel you, because it's like, you're raised to be, okay, you're supposed to grab the check, you're supposed to pay, you're supposed to take care of shorty, and then this happens, and then it ends up being like, something that kind of turns you on, but at the same time you're like, wait, this shit feels kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
Wait, this ain't part of the game. Wait.
Exactly. Right? Should I have fought that? Should I have fought that harder and I failed that test right now?
Exactly, right? So you get kind of like confused or whatever. You're like, should I just roll with this or whatever? I'm not paying for nothing.
Yeah, that's happened to me, but it's definitely been weird. I can relate. Yo. The best date, I'd probably say that was the first date that I had where I didn't spend too much money was Dang, not the best. This is probably, since it's around Christmas time. You know what I did one time that was kind of dumb, but it worked out. I invited a girl to my work's holiday party.
That was
That was the
Wait,
first
yo,
date.
did you tell me about that song? Did you?
Yeah, it was a first date, but I had met her in some bar, hanging with my boys for like a birthday or something like that. But then we kind of was texting and all that, and I invited her to my job's holiday party. But then I was pretending to everybody at work like we've been to each other. It was my first date with the girl. But then it was weird because then people at work, like, oh, how's so and so doing? And I never hung out with her again. So it was bad food. It was just weird. I wasn't smart at all. I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't want to pay for nothing, and I knew the job was going to cover all that.
So how did that turn out to be your best date?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the best. It was just dumb. Like, I don't know. The best first date I had probably for not a lot of money was I'd probably say like lunch. Lunch is always better than a dinner date to me because for one, there's a time constraint, and I don't have to like if it starts getting weird, I don't have to be there for too long because I gotta go somewhere. It's just lunch, And plus, almost everywhere you go, the menu is cheaper during lunch anyway, or there's maybe some type of special. No matter how good the food is, it's always going to be less if you go for lunchtime. And it's nobody really expects to hang with you all day long. So it's just like once that's done, you can walk around, talk, hang a little bit. Everybody's got somewhere to be after, so I don't need all that extra pressure to hold a conversation longer than I need to.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that was my lazy philosophy on first
I mean,
date.
it is dating on a budget, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I guess. All right, so let's keep it rolling. So what is like how much is too expensive? I guess for a first date. I don't know if we should throw numbers out there. I guess like when is the line where you feel like you're going too far? I mean, like has it ever been like somebody you felt was taking advantage of you on a date or something like that, or it just feels like it just didn't feel right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a personal story about that where I went out with a girl and like it wasn't a first date, but it was too expensive just because I felt like I had paid for the meal and everything, and then it was like, oh, let's go out and get drinks, and it wasn't my idea, and it was like, I feel like if you bring it up, then you gotta at least contribute something to it.
Exactly.
So we get drinks, the bill came,
Seriously.
I ended up paying for the drinks, and then like it was just weird because we had seen a movie before we even went to dinner, and I paid for that, and I was like, I just paid for dinner, a movie, and drinks. I got man. I got like crazy.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, but yeah, I was young.
I definitely have a similar story and I found out because it was like we went to, I guess an opera show or whatever, and it was for like. No, it wasn't an opera show. It was like a theater for like some kind of film. I forgot what the name was. I think it was Evita. And then we saw that, and she had like free tickets or whatever from one of her clients that that couldn't go no more. So she had 2 free tickets. So she asked me if I wanted to go, so we went. And then after that, we just kind of walked around and then see what was going on. But it was kind of late, so we just went to eat or whatever. And I ended up paying for the dinner or whatever, and she ended up be kind of cheap because it's like she didn't want to pay for much things, and she was always complaining about like money, and I'm just looking at this chick, I'm like, this chick is mad cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up paying for the dinner, and then like for a drink that she had after that, and then she wanted me to pay for a cab, and it wasn't like how most women would be like, oh, let's take a cab. She was like, okay, you got the cab, and I was just like, what the fuck?
She said you got the cab.
Yeah, I'm like, oh nah, I'm taking the metro home. I'm gonna see you later. She's like, oh okay, mom, I'm gonna go the same way as you. And then I'm like, and in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, this chick is mad cheap. Like, she did not want anything to come out of her pockets. And it's like, you invited me out, so somewhere after that,
that's fact.
Yeah, so after that, it was like I met up with her twice after that, and then things started adding up, and I was like, nah, I'm cutting you off. That's that.
Mm-hmm. She straight up said, you got the cab. That's crazy,
right?
Like that's wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have been pretty mad.
I straight shut that down. I was like, nah, I'm taking the metro home.
Yeah. Oh man, Feast. What about you, yo?
I think, yeah, it's like I think it's too far. I think any dollar amount is too much if you're pulling up all the stops. Like you're initiating most of the situation where it's like you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta set the plans, and then you gotta then you're the same person that has to confirm the plans, and then you gotta set a reminder for the plans, and you do that, and then you finally get them out, and then like even if you spend like $30, I think that's such a nice situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean, of course, I've been in situations where girls get you for for a little bit more drinks than what you anticipated, but that's just part of the game and stuff. I mean, after that first encounter, you better not take her out nowhere after that. You know what I'm saying? You better figure out another way. But
And if you hang around certain chicks, they'll tell you straight up, like, yeah, I got, people saved in my phone as like movie man or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they just know, like, if I don't want to really pay for a movie, I'm gonna just go hang out and like give out my phone number. You know what I mean? Because I really want to see that new Spider-Man, and then somebody's gonna take me to watch it anyway. Like I've heard them conversations before. It's kind of messed up, but not saying everybody's doing it, but every once in a while,
Yeah, they are.
so many dates, yeah. You're gonna feel like you're getting got. You said they
Yeah,
are.
they
You said
are.
everybody?
80% of them are doing it. Trust me. I hang around a couple of chicks, and I've heard a couple of conversations, and they could be a bit grimy, man.
and another thing too is like the same, like I learned this from the late great Patrice O'Neal, but the thing about women is like the way they view like sex and giving that up. That's how you gotta view your time with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't just give up your time for free. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna just sit in a restaurant and look at you in the face for 3 or 4 times. Like, nah.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for like pulling your weight or pulling the weight like the first date or something like that. But like that's why you gotta be like the one to plan it out. I think that's the whole purpose. It's like don't agree to some wild date that is out of your price range, especially when you don't even know the chick, because you don't really know what they're about. It could be on that grimy tip like what we were just talking about before, and really just like take you on a ride.
Yep, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have to end up being the asshole where you're gonna be like, nah, I'm not doing that. Well, I know I'm not. I'm gonna be that asshole. I don't know about you. I don't play that B.
All right, but so opinion right here, yo. So, do y'all think that they pay attention to like how much you spend? I mean, I know they're not necessarily like grabbing the bill to check it and like,
Yep.
You know what I mean, but like throughout the whole experience, like, do you feel like that's something that is kind of calculated in their head? Like, oh, this dude only spent like, you know what I mean, like $20 or something like that.
I've been saying yup the whole time. Yup.
No, I mean, I know you thinking that.
Women pay attention to every single bit of detail that you come up with. The way you dress, the way you walk in, how you handle yourself around her, what you end up doing around the date. Everything is all in the moment. They have it right there. It's all in their mind being overthought. So when they go back home and they start reflecting everything that you did, then they're gonna make their quote unquote decision. Even before you even go out on a date, they already made a couple of decisions of what they're gonna do with you. So they are paying attention.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I don't really think they do pay attention to how much you spend, but I think they might. I think that happens when like they're not distracted. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, give me an example of how they're distracted.
All right. So like, let's say you got a coupon or a Groupon or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about whether that's appropriate or not in a minute, but like, and you kind of just like, you keep the conversation going, whatever. It's like, to me, I feel like that weighs in, but it doesn't weigh in as much as everything else. So it's like, obviously, like, oh, I got a Groupon for the spot. But if you really like played it off smooth, maybe you give it to the waiter before, or like any type of way where she's not really seeing it, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta laugh in it enough, you know what I mean? Not paying attention, having a good time. I think they might not notice if it was really like, an inexpensive date. I don't know. It depends. Obviously, there's a few, probably who just, that's a big deal for them. Maybe if they gold digging or something like that. But
I think I can counter you on that. Most women actually like the fact that you brought up Groupons, because it really makes you think that you had something interesting to bring to the table instead of just the usual, oh, let's just meet up for happy hour. Oh, let's meet up for dinner. Let's go to the movies. You have something more interesting in mind when you have the Groupon, because when you have Groupons, it has like special gifts or whatever, a special thing that you do when you go on this dinner or lunch or whatever. So it's kind of like, it's different, so it gets them more excited.
Nah, I think that's a good point, though. Yo, Feast, what you think about Groupons, man?
Oh, I think they're a great tool. I mean, definitely, you know, you can. They got some deals on some things that you probably wouldn't think of doing on your own. So it's like, you know, like scuba lessons or something like that. You can go do that. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, girls are all about having fun. You know what I'm saying? If you symbolize the most fun, they're gonna rock with you. So if Groupon helps you get there, hey, by all means, you know, definitely.
Yeah.
At one point, I was on like 5 of them different sites. I remember when they first came out, it was like, what, like 2010, 2011, something like that. And they had like Groupon and Living Social came out. Then it was like a bunch of other websites that came out. And at one point, it was like so many of them that was asking for you to sign up for all these specials. It's not as many around anymore, but I definitely think the best idea with that is to probably avoid the like food ones and try to do like what you said, like scuba lessons or like the archery lessons or like, you know, maybe like a class or something, like a cooking class or something like that. You can get some really, really cool data ideas just off of Groupon that you typically wouldn't be able to come up with yourself. Because I know it gets stressful, like always having to think about like, all right, well, I got to take this girl on a date. Oh, well, I'm going to go to the same place I went with the last one on. I'm going to have the same conversation I had the last one. Like, you just kind of getting bored and repeating it. I used to do that and go to the same place every time for the first date. And that was a terrible idea.
Yep.
Like, I'm shooting myself in the foot, not realizing like, yo, I'm just going through the motions as opposed to like actually having fun. And it got really boring for me. So I think once I switched it over and started to look for new activities, that definitely helped. So.
Yeah, also, another thing, too, I thought of is, like, for me, like, you don't necessarily have to have a date. Like, it doesn't have to be that, on that intimate level. Like, you could just basically, you know, basically bring them along with things that you like doing or like doing for fun, whether you're with friends or whatever like that. You don't necessarily just have to have a rigid, intimate setting, like, oh, we got to go on a date. Like, nah, like, all right, me and my few of my people, we're all going to do this. You can come along, too. And then we can chop it up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can basically, you're basically on the ride of like my leisure time. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be so rigid because it's so like, yeah, I don't know. It's not always the best thing.
You know what makes me mad though? A lot of girls are offended by that. Like, offended when you don't plan out a formal date, and that always bothered me because I'm always like, yo, like I can go and put on. I feel like when I'm on a date, I'm wearing like this mask, like this is my date character that I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? But then if it's like, yo, if I invite you out to like, oh, you know, we're all going on like, I don't know, like SantaCon or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a bar crawl or some regular thing I'm going to do, or like, oh, you know, me and my friends is taking an improv class. Come to the improv class. Like, I feel like that's normal. Like, you getting to know me and who I really am. Like, this is what I do in my leisure time. Like what you were saying, it's not like this character I'm putting on. Like, these are things that I care about and I actually do. And I'm like, hey, want to be a part of it. I always felt like that was a way bigger deal than a date. But for some reason, everybody gets offended by that. I just don't get it.
That usually happens with women who want most of your attention, or they just don't get along with other females. So if you have like friends who are gonna,
and that's a red flag anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's happened to me a little while ago, where I told a girl where I'm like, yo, me and my friends are gonna come out to this bar real quick, and we're gonna get a table, we're gonna just chill, just lounge, just hang around. And then she was like, oh, who's gonna be there? And I'm like, just a few of my friends. Or are they gonna be girls? And I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, well, I don't think I want to do that for a first date. And I was like, and then it just like that light bulb just binged in my head. I'm like, okay, the girls, she's not comfortable around other girls because she might think that other girls might like me, so she didn't want to be in competition. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's just reschedule for another time.
I don't get that. Like, you should. That's less pressure on you as like a woman, and you're just trying to get to know the guy, and especially if you're trying to get information and like understand who he is, then you get to see him, like how he acts around his friends, all that stuff. I'm like, yo, that's a big opportunity for them that I just think they're missing out on.
The thing about that, they don't think that way because we're men. We think a little bit different. They think in a little more complex type of way where we're never gonna know. We're not gonna have a vagina. We're not gonna know how they really think, how they feel, but that's how they are. We just think in a different level when it comes to male and female genders.
And a lot of times too, let's not forget, some of these girls, they're just not fun to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't have fun. Like, let's be honest. Like, a lot, you know what I'm saying? A lot of their fun is
Taking advantage of you.
yeah, a lot of their fun is based off like of men they know in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I tell a girl, yo, we're gonna be over at this spot. We got a table, we got a whole bunch of people. Like they got a lot of friends coming. They're all cool. They'll love you. They'll get along with you fine. And you're still like, I don't know. It's just like, man, you boring to me. Like that's not fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's just chill. We don't gotta be all formal. Like, it's all good. But
yeah. Nah, you're right though. It's mad people, girls that are like mad pretty, and everybody's just like gassed off the fact that they're pretty, and they're like, oh, is she even like a cool person though?
Yeah,
like,
the character just sucks monkey balls.
yeah, like yeah, interact with different people. So,
well, my advice to every girl that listens to this podcast is that if a guy invites you to do something cool with like him and his friends and just hang out, that dude likes you.
Exactly.
That dude likes you. Because you're not trying to bring anybody that's weird or anything like that around like people you normally hang around with. So I think that's a big compliment, and to not take that the wrong way and just hang out and just be cool. And like, yo, it might work out perfect. If it don't, then be like, oh, it's not my scene. Like, I just want to stay home.
And another thing too, real quick, is why not, like if I say, hey, if I invite a girl I just met out or whatever to whatever we're doing for the night, I'd be like, yo, you can bring a couple of your girls with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like the Biggie shit, the Diddy shit. You know,
Yeah.
you and my friends can be friends. We all, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that works too, because that gives her a level of comfort, so she don't gotta feel like, yo, she's on an island, she's the new girl. You know what I'm saying? She got her little crew with her, and she you know, she merges with my crew, and we all good.
As a matter of fact, any of the females that are listening to this, if you have any explanation as to why females don't come out when we kind of invite you to our outings with our friends and stuff like that, yo, post that down. Let us know. Like, educate the other men that are hearing this or reading this along with you.
Definitely, yo. And you brought up a good point, Feast, when you said not feeling like there's mad pressure on them. And that's like one of my main pet peeves with a lot of the like really, really, really common first dates that happen out there. Like a lot of dudes like are just accustomed to seeing certain things on TV. When you grow up and see take her out, let's go get something to eat, let's go get dinner, yada yada. Yeah. But like I'm really, really against restaurants for a first date, just because, even though I've done it, but because I hate, my number one thing is like barriers. I don't like sitting across from somebody at a table, like ever. Like even like if I've been dating you for like years and years and years, like the day I'm married and we go out and eat, like we are not going to be sitting on opposite sides of the table, just because I hate that. It's so awkward because you're like facing somebody. It seems like you're making a business deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no like, there's no like touching. Not saying I got to be rubbing up on you, but like that's a part of like, you know, interacting stuff like that. Like even when me and my boys, I crack a joke, I might like bump them or something like that. You know, stuff like that make people feel more comfortable. Or like, oh, check this on my phone. Like, look at this funny video I seen. Something, I don't know. I can't stand that. And like anytime I go out, I'm always trying to sit on the same side of the table as a girl. And when you go out on a first date, they're looking at you like, this creep has me stuck on this side of the booth. Like, what is he doing? I'm like, nah. It's just like, if you would just relax for a minute, like it wouldn't. Like, it's not my thing. I hate sitting across with people, bro. Like, any of y'all got like any bad like ideas that people always do on first dates that you hear about?
Go ahead, Feast. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, if you're gonna go out, if you're gonna take a girl on a date to eat or whatever, don't make it dinner. You know what I'm saying? Make it lunch. So it's casual. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty informal. So like, basically what I do, if I take a girl to lunch, I'm basically, you know, just getting a feel for what he is, getting a feel for what she is, and, you know, cracking jokes here and that, you know, make her laugh, or whatever. You know, get her comfortable, and just kind of try to get a sense of my personality, and say, hey, look, you know, we doing this tonight. Come out. And so that's basically my time to shine, where I can show, yo, I'm fun as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a great time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to feel like when you're hanging out with me and around my people, you're having the most fun you possibly could have. So like it's just like that lunch is that prerequisite to get to that level. But actually going on dinner, that's just I feel like that's just too that's too uncomfortable. That's too awkward. Like Ness says, like if you're on a dinner date, it's like you're sitting in front of each other like that. It looks crazy. Like, but if you out at lunch, you don't have to be sitting right across from each other. Y'all could just be, you know what I'm saying, sitting outside or whatever, just chilling, just talking or whatever. Like,
or the best dinner date I ever had was when we only ordered appetizers and we just kept. And it wasn't on purpose, but it was just we had some appetizers, you know, the little finger foods that we sharing. Just kept talking. The conversation was going real good, and then like. After a while, we started just talking about like other stuff like martial arts, cartoons, and all that. And I had like some scars on my hands, so I was like, oh, you know, come check these out. And we were sitting on the same side of the table after a while, just talking, and that was mad chill. But I will say, like any of the other like formal dinner dates that I've been on for like a first date have been like complete catastrophes.
Yeah,
just too much pressure. So weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have to talk consistently the whole time. And if you stop talking, remember you're eating, there's mad silence because people are eating. It's weird.
Yeah, weird. Man. And see, lunch is mad quick. Like you just sit there, get a little whatever, crack some jokes, see what the day's gonna show. You know, see what people doing tonight. Set it up. Just basically set it up so she can be like, yo, I'm about to have mad fun, and if she don't be a part of this, she's dumb her damn self. So. That's how you look at it.
One thing
what about you, Seamus?
I mean, one of the main things that I really advise anybody to do, especially dudes, is to make sure you understand who you're dealing with. When you text or call them, make sure you know exactly how they like certain things done, and then you could probably like come up with something you can improvise together. For instance, lunch is always good, as you and Vanessa said, and probably like just do something regular. If it's really nice outside, just go and go to an exhibit and just walk around and just talk. And then if you're hungry, just grab something from like something on the street real quick and just keep walking and just keep talking. And then if you guys don't feel like walking anymore, just stop at a bench and just just enjoy the scenery and just keep getting to know each other. Things like that help you feel more comfortable because you're always in the mood. When you're stationary, that's when all your blood is not pumping anymore, and then all of a sudden you start getting nervous, and then like you're shivering and all that. Exactly. You're not in constant motion. So the more movement you do, the more likely you feel at ease, and just like how a lot of people when they talk, their hands are always moving around and making hand gestures. That's because they feel more comfortable that way. They can explain themselves way better.
Yeah.
Word. That's on point. That's on point, yo. Because like the cool thing too about those like museum dates is that like I went to a photography museum, not on a date, but just was walking around with a group of people, and I noticed this like there's pictures of this, like a completely different exhibit over here, and then like some other thing going on over here. So it's like the conversation is not going to stay on one thing. It's just naturally going to jump around for mad different things. And then if anything, if you could just direct their attention somewhere else. And I just feel like when you're having a normal conversation with your friends, you don't just sit there and talk about one specific topic for like an hour and a half. Like, oh, so you went to college. What college did you go to? What was your major? Oh, okay. Well, what do you plan on doing with that major? Oh, really? How does the job industry look for that, a career path? And it's just like, yo, dog, that's mad weird. Like, normally I'm talking about like some random thing, and then we'll talk about something on TV, talk about something from a movie, then be like, oh, I don't know, like talk about the police or some crazy thing like that. You know what I mean? Some random
current
stuff,
events,
like,
man.
Yeah, just like jumping around, or like even a dumb story from work or something. Like, it's normal. It's normal conversation. Normal conversation typically doesn't stay on one topic the whole way through. Like, look how many things we done jumped around in the last 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
So it is what it is, yo. One other thing though that I had to call out as like a pet peeve for like first dates is always movies, yo. Movies, not because like, yeah, like I don't like movies. Like, one. Hey, like you might as well watch Netflix. Like a movie is bad to me for one because obviously if the 3D movies cost more, IMAX movies cost more, you gotta pay. But that's not even like my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve with that is like it's complete silence. Like you don't interact with one another at all during a movie. You just kind of sit there, and if it's a 3-hour movie, you're stuck there for 3 hours, and then once the movie is over, it was like, oh, good movie, and you don't know nothing more about that person than you did before you went and watched the movie. So you got to sit around for like an hour and a half talking after that is even over. So it's like, why did we even watch the movie? Like, we might as well have done something where we can have a conversation, like Shameless was saying, we can walk around, get some movement and feel alive. I don't like that whole movie thing, man. and then you combine that with the dinner that we were complaining about before, and it's like you just asking for a big hole in your pocket and a bunch of uncertainty once you get to the crib.
But the thing about that is also you got to keep in mind with the fact that most women nowadays really are horrible at conversing. They're really more about, oh, you ask them a whole bunch of questions and then they're just going to answer and not ask you anything back. So you got to watch out for that, man. There's a lot of females out there, they're just going to be in there just to, you know, make themselves feel better, where they can just tell you about themselves and have nothing to ask you in return.
Yeah, they're socially awkward as hell because of social media, so.
Yeah, so they pretty much, they feed up all the attention, and all of a sudden, you know, you have nothing else to ask me about? Okay, cool, we're done.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bird.
I mean, as a man, you got to carry the burden of the conversation to start it out. But like, yeah it's got to be back and forth.
Got to be charming. As a man, that's our job. We got to be charming somehow.
You got to.
But real quick,
that's
though.
The point.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, because I was gonna segue into something else. But yeah, go ahead. Say, get your thought out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are the charmers, but at the same time, she has to make an effort some way to keep herself interesting to you, because if both of you are not interested in one another, then it's not gonna work. If I have like 80% interest and you have 20%, then that's gonna suck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta be interesting.
Yeah, it has to be like 50-50, or at least somewhere close to, you know, like 40-60, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can kind of catch up to each other. If one is already an extreme, or already running always like 30 kilometers away, and then the other person's trying to catch up, it's not gonna work out.
I got spazzed on at the end of the first date.
Yeah.
You know, I was serious, bro. Like it was bad. Like we did lunch, it was mad chill. We got on the train, and then like halfway after a few stops on the train, she just spazzed on me like, "You didn't even say you had a good time." I'm like, yo, we was having a conversation, like joking around. I thought we was good. Like, what you mean? I have to have it explicitly in writing that we had a good time? Like, I had a good time? Like, you can't tell? Like, that was terrible, yo.
Wow.
That was terrible.
Okay. She literally asked you, you didn't tell me that you had a good time. You're supposed to do
Yo,
that
she pressed
after.
me. She pressed me about it. And then the worst part was that was back when BBM was popping. So you can see when somebody deleted you off their BBM.
Oh.
And it was like, then I got deleted off the BBM, and then I got hit up the next day on some like, "Hey, what's up?" Like nothing happened. And I was like,
Yo,
you are
kind of crazy then.
crazy psycho. But yeah.
But but what I did want to segue is, all right. Okay, so now we got dating tips for the fellas out there. But what about, let's talk about that initial getting the number and what to do with the number and how to interact through the phone type of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, like setting it up?
Yeah, because it's a little different from the old days now, because everyone's got cell phones, you know what I'm saying? Before it's like landlines, so like you could be smooth and hit her back like 2 or 3 days later after you got the number. But now it's like, yo, you gotta hit her up pretty quick, because like, yo, you wait 4 or 5 days, she done met all types of dudes, so.
Word.
Or especially in a big city,
yeah.
Over.
So like you can't be on that cool shit, because she'd be like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 days later. So it's like, how do you negotiate through that? Because like you get the text and she hits you back, but then you waiting on to confirm the plans and stuff like that. Like how do you let's teach them how to negotiate through that type of stuff.
Yo, the realest tip that I ever heard was when a dude was like, yo, like most of the time, like you talking, and when you about to go your separate ways, you get the number. He's like, nah, get the number in the first like 5 minutes if you can. Like after it's like, oh, we cool, yeah, like in the middle of the conversation, get the number, and then be like, all right, cool, put it away. Like, but anyway, and then just keep talking. And then after that, like I don't know, that worked a lot better for me. It was like getting the number like early in the game, and then just keeping the conversation going. And then when it's over, you go your separate ways. And it's not that whole awkward. Well, so
I got your number now.
Okay, well, I'll give you a call later. Okay.
Oh,
right?
That's
Because chicks give away their number so easy now, because it's like, yo, I'm just not gonna answer the text anyway. So it's like, yo, you can't even be banking on that number. Like back in the day, the number used to be like everything.
Yeah, that was gold.
Now,
that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. It's like, yo, like that's right, fellas, man. Yo, just cause you got a number, that means absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's just the beginning.
Just straight up look at your text and answer like 3 days later, like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I ain't see this.
Yo, the curves be crazy now. You gotta watch out for those curves.
Son. Crazy, B.
Yo, the late texter is like the
Yo.
most biggest. Not like the purposely late, because you know how it's like late, like, oh, I was at work, but then after that, it's like the conversation moves normally because they was, you know, at work and now they out of work. But then it's like the whole, like, I just text back every 3 hours just because
text
my
gap
rule.
shit. Yeah, text gaps is terrible, and it'd be like, yo, it's 2014, man. Everybody be on their phone, yo.
That is so petty, man. Chill out with that.
Yeah,
all the ladies that do that, that is the most pettiest thing to ever do. When somebody's actually interested in you, actually show some interest back. You're an adult. Like, grow up.
Yeah, like, I used to tease chicks. I'm like, yo, what did you, like, yo, like, what happened? Like, when you saw my text, you just looked at it and threw your phone across the hall? Like, and just, come on, yo. It's crazy.
Like, if you at work, that's the only, if you're either at work or sleeping, it's the only reason, because when at work, your phone on silent, you know what I mean? Or if you sleep, you sleep. That's the only two reasons. Otherwise, like, I don't know a girl that don't have their phone in their hand every 2 seconds. I don't know a human being with a smartphone that doesn't have their phone in their hand every 2 seconds. Like, go on public transportation, everybody's sitting there with their phone in their hand.
Yep, their head are down, they're looking at their phone, and you see that bright light.
Man, stop fun.
But I mean, like, I think what I do is, like, I don't know when and during the interaction do I actually ask for the number. You know, sometimes I've given out my number or whatever, but yeah, like, usually, like, if I get the number, maybe like the next day I'll just call them and try to set up something. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the text. Like, for me, I don't know, I'm old school. Like, I'm not really big into text conversations. I'm just not, because, like, I don't know what it is. I just can't. I do it a little bit, but I'm just not really good at texting to, you know, kick things off and shit like that. Because that shit is mad weird to me. Like, yo, because it's like, it's so, like, you open yourself up to get curved so easily. Like, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you could have, like, a good interaction for, like, a good 20 minutes. And then, like, you'll be like, so, let's do this. And then, like, you're waiting 3 hours for a reply back. It's crazy. So I don't even fuck with that shit.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, but it all depends on the person, because there are some people that they're not very comfortable with just talking to you on the phone straight off the bat. But it is better to talk on the phone, because text could be misinterpreted so easily nowadays. It's like,
word.
So after y'all get really comfortable, then yo, probably give her a call, see if she's cool with you talking on the phone. If it lasts, I'd say about longer than 15 minutes, then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you like just, oh, did you just call to say hi? And you're like, yeah. And then,
oh yeah, but yeah, no. I'm not saying, yo, don't, like, definitely call with a purpose. Don't just call to be like, hey, I'm just seeing what you were doing. No. I'm saying, like, usually use, like, if you're trying to confirm plans, call her up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, okay, so what you got going on? Yo, no. Here's a big thing. Don't set it up to where she has an option. You can just be like, yo, tomorrow, yo, 10 o'clock, yo, we getting some lunch, straight like that.
Great point.
Yep.
Great point.
Just like that.
Yeah, I'm saying,
that's a good point.
Like, I don't know, like, yo, I don't want to hear all that stuff. Like, you flirt with her a little bit, like, yo, knock it off. Like, yo.
Yeah, don't that balls in your court shit. Balls in your court. Like, hey, do you wanna? Like, nah, chill. Don't do that.
Just straight up, like, yo, tomorrow I'm open. Are you open? Are you with it? That's it. And if she says no, all right, cool, we reschedule.
Word.
Just straight up like that.
But yeah, definitely, like, so number one, I would say, like, yeah, the number don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. Try to get it as fast as possible, but don't have it be like the last thing that you like say. Like, all right, so like, that's just, first off, it's mad corny. Don't really leave a big impression anyway. But like, then like, even when you got the number, like, the whole point of the number is so you can see him again. Like, 90% of the G that you run is in person. Like, you're not gonna get, like, you know, you're not gonna get a chick to really be on you like that just off the strength of how strong your text skills was. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god,
it's never gonna be that. Yo,
she using mad LOLs, like, nah, dog.
His LOLs was way realer than them other dudes.
Yeah, like, that never works. It's just like, yo, how many times y'all, like, we'll be around some chicks or whatever, and, like, you know, there'll be some lame dudes texting her like, yo, but I'm chilling with her right now. So what you saying? Like,
yeah, that's kind of an insult, man. If you're chilling with a chick and she's on her phone in your face, That's kind of
no, I'm saying like if you guys are on, if it's like a intimate things, then yeah, that's different. But I'm saying like if she's like out with a bunch of your people, we all out doing shit, like we having fun, and niggas texting her, you know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you trying to set up with her, and she's hanging out with people already. You know,
that's true. That's very true about that.
Yeah, but it should always be like, because you know what I mean, especially if you meet a girl in like the club or you meet her in like a bar or something like that first impression, it doesn't last in people's brains that long. So you really got to be like rushing in a sense to like set up the next time you can hang out with them in person, because you know, once they're hanging out with you in person for the second time, it's like, yo, they're really like they had to come out the crib and invest in that like time to spend with you and set aside that time. So, you know what I mean, you're in a much better place than just like that phone number you got and like, oh, I'm trying. Because the longer you sit on that number, man, that thing goes stale so fast. It's so fast in 2014 too.
Yeah.
With oh my God, it's
unbelievable. And that's the biggest thing, dude. Another thing is, dudes be trying to play it so smooth and so cool. I mean, yo, Finesse, I know we've had conversations with dudes just be trying to be too cool all the time. It's like, yo, come on, man. Like,
you know what it is? It's the I don't want to look stupid, you know what I mean, while I'm trying to bag type of thing. But it's like, you know, it's not really about looking stupid, but it's like, I don't got no problem with a girl thinking that like, oh, he's interested in me and he definitely wants to like get to know me. He's not trying to be my friend. Like, I'm not trying to be in a friend zone, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be Mr. Suave, you know, like I feel like I'm a cool dude already. So if you don't get that vibe just off of chilling with me, then maybe like you're the one with the problem. So like, I don't have time for all that.
Exactly,
man.
Word.
Whatever, yo. But
I think that should be pretty much it.
Yeah, we got a lot on this one.
Yeah,
so
man, we giving people this game, man.
Word. It's a lot, yo. But you gotta. I mean, as a dude, you can't be making mistakes like too often, you know, because mistakes is like for when you're younger and all that. When you get older, you gotta kind of have this like.
You gotta be on point, or you just gonna be 40 years old looking like, what the fuck just happened?
And you're gonna be an emotional wreck.
Word. And it's mad different ways of going about it. Like me, I'm mad like organized. Like I'll do the same routine with, you know, the same first date over and over again, make the same jokes or whatever, but not because like, you know, that's all I know, but that's just because, you know, I feel like that's just funny to me sometimes. You know, there's certain things that like I'll crack jokes about. Like, I don't know, like something common that I always used to say was like somebody would tell me where they was from, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, wherever they from. Just because, you know, not because, like, that's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my line or whatever. But it's like, yo, I like to see how people react. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, you kind of whack, though. You look goofy, but it's all right.
Yeah. Like, somebody say, you like, oh, I'm from Chicago. Like, we from Chicago? Sorry to hear that. And then, like, if they can't take that joke, there's probably somebody I don't even want to deal with anyway. So it's just, like, little things I ping out there to see if you got sense of humor or something.
Sarcasm... That's definitely one of the things that I like when a female can take. If you could take a little bit of sarcasm and laugh about it, and not, you know, just go all overboard. Like, what would you say to me? Like, just chill out. It's a little bit of sarcasm. Just laugh. Have a good time.
I think they can spit it right back to you and then have you laughing. That's even better.
That's even better, son. That's a freaking mind fuck right there. Like, I love mind fucks. Like, any girl who could mind fuck me, yo, you got it straight off the bat.
Yeah, I've had chicks like that make me like straight like laugh, like bust out laugh, like dying. I think that is just like so cool. Like, I'm like, yo, rarely does anybody like make me laugh like that.
Exactly, because most of them are really on edge, trying to look all pretty in front of you. Like, oh, is he looking at my feet? Like, no, bitch, I'm trying to talk to you. Like, chill out.
Oh my god.
It's all, like I said, it's all about enjoyment, man. That's me. I don't care, man. I'm goofy. Like, I crack jokes. I'm stupid. I try to laugh. Like, I don't care. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to have at the end of the day, I'm just trying to have cool chicks around. I'm trying to laugh. That's it. Like, it's not that serious to me. It's not that intuitive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not overanalyzing this shit. Like, yo, I'm trying to have mad fun. If y'all trying to come through. We having fun. That's it.
I couldn't have summed it up any better than that, man. So, all right, well, we're gonna wrap this one up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You know, subscribe. Big shout out to our sponsors, ZombieLifestyle.com. That's Zombie Life, you know, clothing right there. Also, big shout out to Zilla and Stush. We've been shouting them out the last few podcasts. Definitely check out their websites. Get your clothing game right. And also, you know, leave some comments below. Some dating stories. dates that got too expensive, dates that really got out of hand, or any just kind of fun things that worked out for you that, you know, you might want to share. You know, get a game out. You know, it's all about everybody eating. You know what I'm saying? So it's no reason for us to, you know, hold these secrets or any strategies that you may have on your own. So appreciate y'all. This is Finesse signing off, yo.
Yo, this is Seamus Logic.
Feast for thought. Late.
All right, y'all. Y'all hang in there. Yo, peace.
Peace out.